Hello friends, you're the Lonesome Gamer, and I'm playing Chariots of Fire, the Sumer scenario. So, it seems like the Sumerians have some trouble, as it also happened in the history. The Sumerians under Lugal-Sagesi, they face the forces of Sargon, the Akkadian king, and Sargon has split up his forces. And now the Sumerians had the problem. Sargon left some people behind here as a small reserve, and if the Sumerians would face the forces of the Akkadians in battle, then these guys behind might use the opportunity to attack from behind. Now that is an option, but the Sumerians, they wanted to kind of do a counterattack and run down there, attack these guys, finish them off, and then hopefully make it back to attack the others or to face the others. But now it looks like the Akkadians are a little faster. Actually, these light infantry units managed to attack here the shock infantry guy and do a few hits here. So I'm not sure now what I would do. The first option would be simply to turn around and hopefully be fast enough to get an, an orderly line here so that I can face these guys coming up. But then we have again the risk of these entering from me from below. The other option would be try to continue the plan, run down here and kill these guys. And I'm absolutely not sure what to do here. So I think what I want to try is, I want to indeed turn these guys around and bring at least 3 or so of these, maybe 2, up here, and that should be then just in time to make sure that we're not completely overrun by these forces over there. And then the remaining here, they can be then positioned right there, still in command of this guy. And this should be then enough to deal with these guys. At least that we have some equal forces. So let's see. So Sargon has won the initiative. So he now let his infantry come even closer. And then we see here the attack of the light infantry again at this shock infantry. Now let's see. We remember we have a modifier of 0. Let's start with the slingshot guy first. That's a 5. And we can see slingers, 1 hit, 0 to 5. Perfect, that's a hit. So he is now at 3 hits. He can take 5 cohesion hits before he is routed. Then it's the self bow. And that is also a hit. Yeah, sadly it's only 1 hit. We would need a 0 to do 2 hits. And now I'm gonna try to take this guy here, the javelin, and maybe I can then kill him. 1, 2, 3. 4. I wonder if I can. I'm pretty sure I can also shoot at the flank, but I'm gonna check that, but I think it's possible. Yes, that's exactly correct. I can shoot here to the flank. I can not shoot at the back, but flank is no problem. So now I'm gonna, we have this javelin guy. So let's see here, javelin against shock infantry is a -1, so that's a bonus for the attacker. And we need here a so we can roll up to a 5, that would be still good. Now let's see. Oh shit. Okay, that was only a 9. So that's really bad. And that means now, if you got a 9, you get a marker which says missile low. Now this is placed upon this guy. So you can now do only 1 more shot, and then he has no missiles on left. But he can regain them at the end of a turn under specific circumstances. So it was kind of bad luck now. This guy is heavily wounded now, with 4 cohesion hits, but he's not routed yet. Okay, so now we have the Sumerian momentum marker. And, well, we'll see if they can do it. And they can. So that allows now the Sumerians to react. The problem is this guy cannot change facing, so he's kind of trapped in this situation. If you are in front of 2 enemy units, and that's the case in this case here, then you cannot change facing, which is pretty bad. This guy can change facing because he's only in front of 1 enemy unit. That means he can use half his movement points to change facing, which would be 2 movement points in this case. And this guy also can change facing. So that's what he does. 1, 2, and then he moves here. Or wait a second, I could, while he is turning around, I could I could withdraw. I could make an orderly withdrawal with him, and I think I'm going to do this. Orderly withdrawal is possible if you have a higher movement as your enemy has. Then you can do that. And I have a 5, the enemy only has a 4. So I can now move the difference of the 2. So I could now move 1 space back. And I can do this if the enemy enters a space which is 2 hexes away from where I am, or if he activates 2 hexes away from me. So this is exactly the case now. That means I could now move space away, and that might be a good idea in this case, because otherwise it's going to be very painful for this guy if he gets attacked. So I'm moving back one space here. Okay, and I will keep my facing when I do this orderly withdrawal. Okay, actually I made a mistake here. It's not that easy to withdraw, because I got to make a TQ roll, troop quality check. So I need to roll a 2 or less to be allowed to withdraw. Well, if I don't make that, I'm simply not allowed to do this. If I roll a 9, I will take a cohesion hit. So let's see. We can try it. And I'm not allowed to withdraw, which kind of sucks, because now this guy can simply move in here and attack. Now, before we do this attack, we have to go through the movement and missile fire segment for all the units, and then we come to the shock combat segment. So let's see what the others can do now. This guy, for example, he could also change facing and then make an attack on this javelin guy. So I think that's what he does. Moves here and then another space. But I'm not sure if it's allowed to attack if I change facing, actually. You see, there are many complex things in this, many details. Yeah, that's the point here. Unit that begins the movement and missile fire segment the frontex of a single enemy unit may use up to one half or changes facing, cannot conduct shock combat. So that's something I cannot do. I can't attack here, but I think that's okay anyway. I think it's a good idea to change facing anyway. So this guy also changes facing. 1, 2, moves then back here. Same applies for this one. Okay. So this sucker will also turn around. And now, at that moment, when he turns around, he can try to make a withdrawal roll, simply because this guy is 2 spaces away. So that's what we do. We can't withdraw. We would have needed to roll a second or less, a 2 or less. And now he moves actually here, trying to attack this guy. And now here's the thing, and I also forgot that. 2 important things. See, lots of details. If he enters this space here, or if that guy enters this space here, I can make a reaction fire. So I can now shoot at him. The range of 1. That was a miss with him. And now I'm going to try with the javelin guy. And that was also a miss, and that now means also that the missiles are now gone. I have a missile no marker, because that was my last action, my last javelin. And now I can use my light infantry here. But before I'm going to do this, I'm going to march with these guys down there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait a second, I'm not allowed to do this. I have to change facing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. Okay, yeah, we can do it like this. So we're gonna try to fight these guys down there. And then we have the light infantry here. And what we're gonna do is let's see. I'm gonna try to shoot with the bows on this guy. That is allowed. I can do this. I can shoot over a single person. So let's see, we have the bow against a javelin guy. So that's a self bow against javelin is what? Light infantry. That's a -1. So let's see. We gotta be pretty lucky here with 2 spaces. But that's great. Wow, 0. Awesome. So that is 2 hexes. Well, okay, that's a hit. Yeah, so he can take 2 hits, but that's the first hit. And now, actually this guy will change facing and then move there. 1, 2, 3. And try to hit him too. Well, basically, this guy enters this area here. He's 2 spaces away, so he could now try to withdraw. I think I'm gonna do it. I can at least try it. And I didn't make it. So now he enters here, this space, and he can try to finish him off. That's javelin against the light infantry, so that's a -2 with 1 hex. So that's not looking good for my guy now. Oh boy, a 9. But wait a second. Unadjusted missile arrow of 9 results in missile low. Okay. So, bad luck again. So now we come to the shock combat phase, and what happens now is this unit here has entered a hex adjacent to an enemy unit, and it is a shock capable unit because it's shock infantry, so the unit must shock. That's something. If you enter a hex adjacent to such a unit, you must shock. If it would have been here before yet, then it only may shock. And that's a difference which we will maybe see later. But now the unit must shock. And so there's now the threat of this shock attack, and we must see how the other unit will react to this threat. So that is actually not the clash of arms itself, it's just this pre-shock resolution procedure. That's how it is called. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll here a troop quality check. And remember, this unit already has a single hit. I didn't mark it yet. So we have this troop quality check here. To see how the reaction is. Maybe they're in such panic that they simply run away, and that's probably what happens. So we roll a die, and, well, actually we rolled a 2. So that's equal to their troop quality, so they don't take any cohesion hits. Otherwise they would have taken the difference between the roll and the troop quality as cohesion hits. So that means now that unit stays here, is willing to fight, which is pretty stupid against shock infantry if you're only light infantry, and they already have one hit. From the shot of this bowman, I think. Yeah, exactly. So what happens now? Well, we gotta check first we gotta check the superiority. And we see here the attacker is shock infantry against light infantry. So we have an attacker superiority, which means that we got to double the defender hits. That's pretty bad because he takes more damage. Then we have here take the Clash of Arms chariot, and again we go here. This is the attacker. Shock infantry versus light infantry is pretty bad for the defender. That is column number 12. It's this one here on the shock combat results table. Now we would see if there's a numerical advantage, which is not the case here. A flank position advantage, that's also not the case. Terrain, no problems here. Also no leadership, no leader is involved. So we simply roll now on this table here, and we double the hits the defender takes. So let's see what we roll. And usually now we want to roll high as the attacker. Now that's a 0, that sucks completely, but it's probably still good enough. So that means the attacker takes 2 hits. The defender takes 1 hit, but no, that's not. Yeah, it's this row actually. This one would be below 0. So the attacker takes 2, the defender takes 1, but the defender's number is doubled. So therefore, he has now 3 cohesion hits overall, while the attacker has 2. So the number of cohesion hits a unit can take is equal to its troop quality, so that means now that the unit will rout. The only question is, how bad is it? So we got to do another troop quality check, and if the result is higher, the unit flees completely from the battle, so then it would be actually eliminated. And that's the case. So that means now that the Acadians lose their first 2 rout points, and this guy is killed. And now, because he eliminated the enemy as routed, this guy has now to advance after combat. So he moves now in here. That's mandatory. And now actually the other units, oh shit. So this one and also that one can now make a reaction fire because this guy entered an adjacent space. And well, that might again now end in the rout of this guy. So first, let's do the reaction fire of him. That's a 7. I don't know if that's good enough. We'll see. Self-bow versus shock infantry is a modifier of 0. Self-bow at 1 hex. That's indeed a hit. So that means the guy takes a hit, and then we can also do a shot with this guy. That was the javelin. No, wait a second. That was actually the other guy. Oops. Oh no, yeah, I see. My javelin guy is of course dead. So he just takes another hit. And that's all that happens then. Okay, actually I realized I made a pretty big mistake. This guy couldn't have done the attack because he changed facing. So therefore he's not allowed to shock. I messed that up. Instead I wanted to do it with him. And so basically it's the same result. So he has now 3 hits. This guy was killed and he had to move right there. And then he took the shot from him, you know. So basically there is no difference other than it's this guy and not him. But that's kind of important. I messed that up. Sorry for that. So, but it's also 2 route points, so it didn't make such a difference here. Okay, but it's definitely a disadvantage for him, because if he now gets attacked by these guys, he's in a lot of trouble because he already took 3 hits. Okay, I hope I've done that right now. And of course, I shouldn't forget this. This guy here gets now a no missile marker. Yeah, I think that's what happened. Yeah, I'm not absolutely positive, but I think that's what happened. We see now the Acadian momentum marker, and we're going to roll a die again and try to do it, and we didn't. That's a 9, so no success here. And finally, the infantry of the Hittites can now they can now do their action. I'm gonna try to trump that as the Acadian player, and I made that. Pretty awesome. So that allows me now to move my guys a second time. And I think I want to do this even if they take another cohesion hit, but I think that the advantage is just too big. So let's see what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna take this guy, change facing, move here. That allows me to attack him. And I'm gonna take these guys. Now these guys then both take a cohesion hit. I will place that in a second. I'm gonna also move this guy. 1, 2, wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, he was here, I guess. 1, 2, 3. 1, 3, 4. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of risky. I think I want to move only. I mean, he's already. He only. I don't know, actually. I think what I want to do is I want to actually recover with all these guys. And that means I can remove up to 2 hits. But I'm thinking about bringing this guy into battle because he's simply so far away. On the other hand, he's such a low, he's only a 4 TQ, so he might die easily because this guy is a 6 TQ. So maybe it's a better idea if I leave him behind for now. Also recover. And the same thing here. So now I move these guys a little closer to the battle. And then we're basically now ready to attack this guy here. And of course, we can also activate our light infantry, so we can, for example, now make an attack with him. Okay, now this guy already took 4 hits, so I'm gonna shoot now again, and I need a 1 to 7 or 0 to 7 to be successful, and that's a 9. Wow, so he was really lucky here. So I take a missile low marker. So now this unit has to make this pre-combat check, and just to check if he runs away or stays there, basically. And that's a 1. So he made it. So there is no panic, so he doesn't take any cohesion hits. So now we come to the combat itself. And again, we have to check any superiority. First for the position, which is not the case. If you're not from the rear, then the shock superiority, that's also, there is also no advantage here, because shock infantry against shock infantry is no advantage. We come to the Clash of Arms charts. Shock infantry against shock infantry is a 7, row 7 here on the shock combat results table. But now we have a numerical advantage. For each additional attacking unit more than defender, shift 2 columns to the right. Well, here obviously it's 1 additional unit. And we have 1 unit attacks also from the flank. This sucker here attacks from the flank. So overall we can shift 4 columns to the right. So from 7 it goes now to 11. That's pretty impressive, so let's see what happens. And that is a 3, which isn't so great. Still, this is here, so that means that both take 2 hits. Now I can give, or I have to give each one of them 1 hit, and this guy takes 2 hits. Now let's see how much he already has. Okay, so he has already 3, so he will now actually rout with 5 hits. Now let's see how bad it is if he flees completely. Yes, that's a 7, that's definitely more than a 5. So that means now this guy is fleeing the battlefield, and this time the Acadian player actually wins 5 route points. Wait a second, does that make any sense? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The one who is first at 0 has lost, and well, this guy is the Akkadian player technically. He lost 2 points and the Sumerian lost 5 points. Okay, nice. And then I gotta advance with one of these guys. It's this advance after combat thing, and I'm not sure if I can choose which one it is or if there is a rule for that too. Okay, the unit that had superiority must advance. That was not the case. Yeah, I thought so. And then it's the unit, wait a second, with the highest TQ. So that means now that this guy will actually advance in here. Okay, fine. And that's then the end of that turn, of that round. So, now it's actually the infantry chit of the Sumerians. They have won this time the initiative. And first, the light infantry, this one will shoot again on this light infantry there. So they need a good roll here. A 2 could have been enough actually. Self-bow 2 hexes. Yep. I'm pretty sure that will be a hit. That's light infantry. With the self-bow, it's a -1 in addition. So that is a hit. And that means now that they take another hit, so therefore they will also rout, and let's roll, and they're gone. So in this case it's Sargon loses 2 more. And now let's see what the others can do. I'm pretty sure we're going to see an attack on that sucker here. Yeah, he's really in trouble with his back, but he cannot move through these. Well, he might actually be able. If this guy moves away, then he could try to run down there. That could be an option. So, maybe I should do this. Let me see if this guy already has a hit. No, he doesn't. Wow, let's see. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this guy here, that javelin thrower, and shift and then move him a few spaces away. Oops. 1, 2. So that brings him out of range of this guy, so he can get new ammunition, and he's also out of the way so that this sucker cannot try to run away. That's not going to be easy, but otherwise he's completely stuck. So what happens now is this guy tries to move on. First on, well, he could also, yeah, he moves on this space here because he cannot change facing that. So he's got to move past there. And what happens now is that this guy here can shoot at him. That's a reaction attack, and that could then kill him. So let's see what we roll. It's the bowman. So a 6 is possibly good enough. Pretty sure about that. Yeah, he needs a 1 to 7. So that means he takes another hit. Yeah, and that is his his 5th hit. So he will rout. Now let's see. That's an 8. Wow. So that means now that the Sumerians lose another 5 route points. So they've lost now already half their route points. On the other hand, this guy has now no more missiles, but that was definitely worth it, I think. Okay. But now it's going to be a hard time for these guys here because, well, first of all, this sucker will move here and he will attack. This guy will move here. This guy, 1, 2, 3 spaces. One, two, three, 4. Okay. Now let's see, what about these guys? The 2 light infantry guys. Well, actually what I want to do is I'll move like this and then like that, so I can change facing twice, move here and then there, and then I'm going to shoot at this sucker here. I can do that at a range of 2. I gotta be very lucky, but it's possible. 3 is not bad. Let's see what we got. Self bow against shock infantry is a 0. Self bow at 2 hexes, 1 or to 2. And because we moved, we will actually have a +1, so it will be a 4. It's definitely not good enough here. Okay. So then I moved this guy here, the slingshot guy right there, and I'm gonna attack this sucker. And that is a 3. I assume that would be good enough. Slinger against light infantry is a -2. That looks very promising. So that means we do a hit. Cool. So now we gotta do shock combat between basically these 3 attackers, and these 2 are the defenders. And we can now choose which one is attacking which. Now this single guy here will attack him, and these 2 are gonna attack that shock infantry. These guys, because they entered these spaces during their movement phase, so they don't have to make a pre-shock roll, but the others do. So let's start with the light infantry, and I'm afraid they will rout, but we never know. That's a 9. So that means there is a difference now between 6 from their TQ value and the 9 here. So that means they would take 6 cohesion hits because of the threat of the attack. So they are gone without even a real fight. They are already routed. Now let's see what happens. Well, and he runs completely away, so that means 3 losses for Zargon And now it's this guy here with a value of 6, which isn't bad, so we'll see. That's a 0, so no problems here. Remember, 0 is not a 10 here, but a 0. And now we're gonna see the actual clash of arms. So again, we gotta go through our well, first we gotta we don't have any superiority because we're not coming from the rear, and also not this weapon armor type doesn't matter here. Clash of Arms chart, well, that means again a 7. Shock infantry versus shock infantry is a 7, but we have again one more additional attacking unit, and we have here one guy coming from the flank. So that means now that again 4 columns to the right, so it's column 11. But it's a very good unit. Let's see. That is a 4. So that means we're here. That means the attacker takes 1 damage, the defender takes 2 hits. Okay. So he already has 3. That means that he's now at 5. Whoops. Man, what am I doing here? 5. Okay. There we go. And then we got to give one of the others 1 hit. I think I can determine myself who takes this, but this is something I gotta check again. Okay, now in this case here, I was allowed to choose, and I gave this additional hit to him. And then we see an engaged marker onto these 3 units here. So before they can do anything now, they have to disengage. And that is then the end of this specific turn. Okay, we have the Acadian momentum. So let's see. That is a 3. So that means that Zargon's troops are now allowed to move. 5, they're all within command. Let's see what we want to do here. One, two. We can try to attack this guy pretty badly, maybe even from 1, 2. Then we could change facing. I think I want to do that. 1, 2. 3, 4. Now that's from the flank. That's pretty painful. And this guy, 1, 2, 3, will enter here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now that looks much better for him. Then this guy might actually recover, and this is possible because he's not adjacent to an enemy unit, and in addition, He's not in range of any bowman, so he can recover, remove 2 hits, which is probably a pretty good idea. And then we could attack, for example, this light infantry here with this guy. 1, 2, 3. And now this guy could try to, well, he could either try to withdraw orderly. Well, actually he can't do that. He can try to withdraw orderly at the moment when this guy enters that space. So he's got to roll a 2 or less, and he didn't make it, so there is no way for him to do it now. And then this guy will move here. And then we can make a reaction fire. So let's see what happens. That is a 7. I'm pretty sure that is not good enough. We have a slinger against shock infantry. That's a 0 modifier. No hits. Okay. Finally, we have this sucker here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We could, yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe that's not a bad idea to move there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and now it's these guys, and maybe they can... Damn it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I'm not sure actually. I want to... Maybe I should change facing here. Just like that. So I can come from the flank. But I kind of want to avoid to take hits from these suckers too badly, actually. And I'm going to place a move marker on these, just that I remember that. Okay, so we got to do these pre-shock rolls now. First for this unit over there. Now that's a 5. The unit has a troop quality of 4, so that means it takes 1 cohesion hit before the clash of arms even starts. That's not good for them. And then this sucker here. Wow. Okay, so he's gone. That's an 8, and that means he routs and he flees from the battle. So therefore we have this guy loses now 2 more points. That's 8 against 13. And I'm not absolutely sure if this guy has to advance now, but this might be the case. I think it is, actually. Yes, because this is now the advance after combat. That means this guy now enters this space. And right now there is no attack between these two. And then we come now to the shock between them, and this time now these 2 units are fighting each other, these 2 units are fighting each other, and these 3. So even though at the beginning there were 3 here, you got to divide it kind of equally. So that means now that the situation for this guy is not quite as terrible as it was before, but it's still pretty bad. An engaged unit doesn't have to make this TQ check. That's the reason why these 2 units didn't have to roll. So let's see. This time we roll first here, and it's Clash of Arms chart. Now that's a 7 here. No advantages this time. And that is a 2. So that means pretty bad news for the Acadian guy, I'm afraid. So actually the attacker and the defender both take 2 hits. But because this guy already took 5 hits, if I'm not mistaken, he will rout, and the other one is at 2 hits. Oops. And he must then move on or advance, and the question is if this will make him happy. I have my doubts, because right now he's standing in front of these suckers, and it's going to be a pretty bad experience for him. Now let's see. There's a good chance that he will not flee completely. But if we roll higher than a 6, and that's not the case. So in this case, the unit will rout, but it will stay. So it moves next to the standard. We're going to place him here. And we're going to place a routed marker on top. Like that. And that means that the unit has now a troop quality of 1. And basically they can do nothing except for rally. Now let's see. Between these 2 guys here. Now this is a 1, which is also a very bad roll. That means that the attacker takes 3 hits and the defender takes 2. Well, that sucks for this poor guy. And the defender is actually, so he's at 3-2. He was very lucky here. Okay, now these 2 guys are engaged. Just like that. And now it's the battle between them, and here the Acadians are definitely in advantage. But if they roll on like this, it's pretty hopeless. Again, we have a numerical advantage and we attack from the flank. So that means that we can use column number 11. That is a 3, that's also not very good. So 2 hits for all of them. That means that this guy is basically still alive. That is 3 hits for him. And the others take 1 hit each. Okay, we see the Hittites' momentum chit. I'm thinking about trumping once again, but I'm not sure if I really want to do that. And honestly, I'm not sure what to do with these suckers here. I mean, I really don't know. The only good thing is they kind of keep these four guys away from the battle, but it would be great now to move in here, but then we have to face the others too, so I don't know if that's such a great idea. It's all pretty chaotic. Maybe I should simply stay here and simply do nothing. As long as these four are also doing nothing, it's okay, I guess. So, I don't know if I should trump here. There is a little risk involved in doing this. And it's not such a big advantage. Huh. I think I will not do it. So I would give the Hittites here a chance, and they can now roll a die, and well, they also didn't manage to do this. So now it's finally the Mitanni infantry chit, and well, I think I'm not gonna move these guys simply because that would give them a cohesion hit, but I'm actually thinking about bringing Zargon in command range of these so that in the next turn I can do an attack here, because now everyone's engaged here anyway. So that might be possibly a useful idea, and I think I'm gonna do it. So wait a second, I think I can also try to rally this guy. Now what happens if I rally? I think if I rally, all other units count as out of command. But that's okay right now, because I don't want to do anything with these, and these are all fighting, so it doesn't really matter actually. I think rallying is okay in this case. It's exactly as I thought. If I choose to rally, all other units count as out of command, but that's okay. So I will do a rally action now with this routed unit, and now that's not so easy because Zargon, he has a charisma rating of 3. This is this little marker here on the right, that number here on the right, 3. So if I roll a 3 or less, the unit is successfully rallied. That's a 5, so no success here. Okay. And now I want to move here so that these guys are in command of Zargon. So let's see, that's so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I should end up somewhere here. Yeah. What was, I think 6 was his command range, or was it 7? It's actually 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here is fine. Sadly, that's not 3 hexes within this guy, because then I cannot route anymore, which kind of sucks. 1, 2, 3. I think I don't care. I think I stay here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that means this guy is out of command, the others are not, and that should be good enough, I think. And I can still route him. So I guess that's cool. Because you have to be within 3 hexes of the standard to be allowed to rally, to make a rally attempt. Okay. Now and then we're simply gonna do the attacks here. We have to do a few TQ actions, TQ rolls, because these guys didn't enter these hexes during their movement action, during this movement action. So that means all these have to do TQ rolls for the following combat. So we start with this one. Now that's a 0, so he's fine. We go on with that guy. That's a 5, so he takes actually a cohesion hit. What about this guy? Oh boy, he routes. Great. Yeah, he takes 5 cohesion hits, the difference between 4 and the Dyro. So this guy will rout. Let's see how bad it is. Oh, very bad actually. Okay, let's try that again. That's a 6, so yeah, he actually flees the battlefield. That means that he loses 4 more points, so it's really close. It's 9 against 8 points. And then we see the other guys. If they were rout, we have this guy here first. So that is a 6. That means he takes 2 hits. Oh boy, that also brings him to the point where he will rout. But he stays. He does actually stay. So he is placed here next to the standard. And I'm going to place a routed marker here. And what about this sucker? That's a 5, so he takes 1 cohesion hit. That's not too bad. Okay. Now I wonder if this guy must advance. I think so, actually. I think so. Where? I think he was here, wasn't he? Damn, I don't know. Okay, so basically this guy moves now actually into this space. And I'm pretty sure that he's not part of the combat between these two. Okay. Now we see the combat itself. And what happens is we start here. They both are on that column number 7. Now that is a 9. That's pretty awesome for the attacker. Yep. So a 9, number 7, 2 for the attacker, 4 for the defender. So that means that this guy will actually run away, and the attacker takes 2 hits. Yeah, exactly. 2 hits for the attacker. Then we will roll if he flees or stays. Now that is a 0, that means he also stays, but is routed. So we can place him here. So that gives no points for the Acadians. And then this guy will advance here. And we see him using reaction fire on the other guy. That is a 4, that's a hit. So he takes now another point, another hit. Okay. And now we continue the battle between these two units. And we also go on line row number 7, column number 7. That is a 6. That's also good for the attacker. Well, it's not that awesome. It's 2-2. 2 hits for everyone. Let's see. First we start with this guy. He's then at 5, but he can take 6 hits. He's really strong. So for now, he seems to be fine. What about this guy? He also takes 2 hits. So he's at 5. That means he will actually rout this time. Yes, but he also stays. So it's not too bad. Things are getting more and more chaotic. And now this guy will actually advance in here. But now we have to check if this unit routes anyway, if this unit will collapse, because it says here, for those units that were engaged at the start of shock combat and now within 1 hit of automatic rout, that's the case, the players must roll 1 die for each such unit. If the die roll is higher than the unit's TQ, the unit routes. That's a 9, so yes, actually this sucker will also rout now. And then we gotta roll again and see if it flees or stays. That's a 1, so he will stay. Let's place him here, I guess. Maybe with a facing like that. Now it's definitely time for the Sumerian player to make some rally attempts. And finally we have back here the attack, and well, it's definitely looking now better for the Acadians in this specific battle, on this specific roll here. So we have again 4 columns to the right. That's an 11. That's only a 2. Oh boy, not great, not great. So it's 2 units for the defender, 2 for the attacker. Okay, the defender will rout. Well, let's see. That's a 9, so this guy is gone. That means 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, the Sumerians are down at 4. That's not looking good for them. And these guys each take 1 point. So they are still fine. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, and now this guy here, he has to advance because he has, oops, come on. He has the higher TQ. So he has now to move in here. Okay, so facing goes more in this direction. Okay, that's the end of the turn. What we're going to do now is, wait a second. There is a battle wagon underneath here. It is possible that the battle wagon has a range of, well, let's see. I'm not sure what type of bow he has. Javelin, okay. So this guy is out of range. That means now at the end of the turn, oh wow, he was at low missile, not at no missile. So I'm not sure if you can remove this. Well, definitely we can remove all these moved markers now. Okay, this one goes also away. Boy. And now I wonder if I can remove this low missile marker. Or if I can only remove, yeah, that's 7.1.5. Oh, and there we go. What? No, it is not within, yeah. Yeah, so he's allowed to remove the missile low marker now. And yeah, wow. This is now the end of that round, and I'm gonna stop here. It's interesting. I mean, so here's the thing, the Sumerians only have 4 route points left. If they lose, because they've lost all, no, wait a second, they lost these guys. Yeah, they were pretty unlucky with these 2 units and that one, that they really fled and didn't stay actually. So the Sumerians have only 3 route points left. 4. So if they lose, for example, their light infantry, they're already gone, and they are a little in danger because of these guys. They, wow, I don't know. I think Akkad is in a better position here. Maybe they can now finally try to bring these 4 units into the battle, but then there is a greater danger that these guys come from behind. So hey, I don't know. Whatever. We'll see you in the next video. Hope to see you then, or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye. Okay, I'm back with Chariots of Fire. I decided to do the next turn because it is easily possible that this is now very soon over. Because if a routed unit takes another hit, then it will flee right away. It's eliminated. And this guy, for example, he can move 1, 2, 3, 4, and then attack this guy. And let me see, yeah, that is a 4 unit. So if this guy then should take a hit, that means that Sumer would have lost the game. So let's see who wins the initiative. That is now pretty important, actually. So the Acadians roll. That's a 5. That's overall a 9. And the Sumerians, oh boy, that's also a 5. But because what is his name? I don't know, man. This other guy has a worse initiative. He only has an 8, so that means now that Zargon can go first, and of course he's gonna take this chit here, and that means now that actually 2, 3, 4, this sucker gets the order to move in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this guy here is on a battle wagon, and the battle wagon has a javelin, but then again he's right behind the battle wagon, so I'm not sure if this is in reach. Okay, so basically it's not clear. It says for light infantry units, missile range extends from its frontal or flank axis. For chariot units, missile range extends from any of its axes, may fire front, flank and rear. So we don't know about battle wagons here, but I'm gonna treat them more as a chariot, I think. I mean, there's this guy sitting in there, and he can also shoot to the rear, I guess. So I'm gonna allow him to do this reaction fire. I wonder how many hit points this guy has. 2. Well, so it probably doesn't matter because it will not hinder him to make an attack on the other guy. But let's see. So we have a javelin here against the shock infantry. That's a -1 modifier. That's not good enough anyway. We would have needed a 4, so a 5 would have been necessary. So no hit here, and then it's not looking good for this guy, and therefore for the Sumerians in general. Well, then we might actually think about, if I use this guy now to move here and attack that one, then I got a problem that he can actually move back. So I think I don't want to do that. I prefer to recover here. Same thing with this guy. I'm going to recover with him too. And I can 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I could actually move with these guys. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they are in command. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, cool. One, 2, 3, 4. Nah. And let me see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think that's fine. So that means now, yeah, basically we're done here. And what's happening now is that, I wonder if I should take this guy and place him here. Just, I don't know if it makes sense, but now this guy is also in command. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that one was also in command. I wasn't sure about that. It was close, I think, but when I was here, he was just in command. So now we come to the point. Actually, it should not be a big deal. The question is, he has to roll, and if he rolls higher than he has to do this pre-shock thing, and if he rolls higher than a 1, the game is over anyway. So let's see. Yeah, okay, that's it then. He takes another hit, and that means he flees. That's 4 more points. And that's it. He's down at 0. So that means, as it was historically, Sargon has won that battle against, boy, Lugal-Sargesi, and it said he has, I don't know, dragged him home like a dog, whatever that means. That's written in Wikipedia. Okay, so, well, just a few words about this game. It's a little hard to say from this scenario, and I don't have much experience. Basically, I can only say I enjoyed it. It was interesting. It was an interesting solo experience. I mean, that is always the problem. Can you play these games solitaire? Does that make sense? You know, or is it more like chess? But I think here was enough randomness in the game, also because of these cheat pull system, that it actually is absolutely no problem to play it solo. Yeah, well, I think I need a little more experience, and I need to play a little more battles to see to see how I really like it. The main problem is I nearly have no comparison. You know, I mean, I could compare this to Memoir, but hey, I mean, does that make sense? I doubt it. To be honest, I enjoy Memoir more. It's more fun. But on the other hand, this is deeper. This is something completely different. So this is a completely other kind of experience. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Okay, anyway, it's hope to see you on the next video or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye.